how to make branded e-com ads for Facebook and TikTok. I've made over $19 million in revenue. That's not profit, that's revenue with ecom. And the main reason for that is my advertising strategy. So this is one of the areas that I really excelled in when I compare my strategies to other people in the industry, okay? So many people have way too basic approaches to ads, or either they try and sell you on some dumb strategy or hack in order to make your ads work, when in reality you should only focus on what I'm sharing in this very video, okay? So just a quick proof of how good it's working and what we did. In 2 weeks ago, I hosted a workshop where I did this strategy, and we scaled a completely new ecom store from 0 to 35,000 krona in revenue. I even did a live actually on a live workshop, and 35,000 krona is around 5,000 euros. It's not a lot of volume, but it's just to show you that, yeah, it still works to this day with completely new brands, right? This is how effective it is. So everyone is struggling with making ads. This is something I see again and again, and I get this question so often. So let's break it down. First things first, all you should focus on is the creatives, the content, all right? There is no one hack or new trend that you should follow to perform. Rather, you should focus on the creatives, okay? This is the goal, okay? I'll share with you exactly how I do it on a day-to-day basis for my ecom brand, the entire process from how I get inspiration to how I implement it and actually get the ads done, and how I do some more advanced stuff in the end. Yeah, and I'll also share with you how all of my students get these insane results. So this strategy here is without a doubt the most effective way there is to do ads right now. Anyone else that are sharing you any kind of hacks or gimmicks are literally lying to you. So I'll just be very upfront with you. So first, I'll show you today how I go about actually generating ideas for new creatives, right? And then how you can replicate it and improve on the setup. Thirdly, how I would actually go about adding the structure on an ad account and adding the ads themselves. And then finally, where a lot of the gold in this video lies, the more advanced funnels that you can run to your ecom brand. And trust me when I say that this final part here has made me so much of the profits I've done, okay? So much. And this is not something you'll hear many people online talk about openly, and not a lot can prove how effective it is to you either. So I can, because I was one of the first people to introduce this very advanced funnel strategy in the Nordic markets. And yeah, so I think let's get into it. First things first though, and just to clarify, I will not be spending my time today showing you how to actually Photoshop yourself or use Canva or edit a video, okay? And there's so many guides to that online. I'm here to tell you what you can find online, okay? What actually moves the needle for you. First things first, how to generate ideas, okay? So the number one process I use on a day-to-day basis is literally just Ads Library. Go into Ads Library and spy on your largest competitors, either from your own market or from other markets, okay? So when I had my brand, Scandinavian Rest, this was the main process I did to come up with creatives, and you can do this with any brand, okay? So I knew literally just when I searched for weighted blankets, all of the largest competitors come up, okay? Now I'm in Dubai, but you can see there are so many competitors here that just pop up on Google, okay? And so I did that as well in Denmark. And a few of the brands I found was this brand right here called Hush Blankets. Boom. They are really large in this ecom niche, okay? So one thing you can do is go ahead and install the software called Denote. I can really recommend that. It's free, and it enables you to just save winning ads from the ads library. That way you'll have them all compiled in a folder together. Okay, you can also use something like Foreplay. That's also extremely good, okay? These are just apps for saving down videos and images from the ads library. So go in here on ads library and just take a look at the ads, okay? Now, obviously for me with Scandinavian Rest, I sold weighted blankets. These guys, Hush, they also sell pillows or sheets or whatever. But that doesn't mean you can't use the strategy behind their creatives, okay? So I will literally just go in and rinse all they've done and implement it into my own business. So as an example over here, we've got an ad. I would literally just go ahead and do an inspired version of this very ad, okay? It's not more difficult than that. So even though this is about sheets, I would just tailor it to be about weighted blankets, which I sold, right? And even if you sold toothbrushes or lamps or clothing or whatever, you can still implement this creative right here. Basically what it is a product with a white background, a bold title right here, and then some USPs and the name, the logo, right? And you can still implement the same strategies from other brands into yours here. And this is what's cool, because then you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, somebody else have already made high performing ads for you. So what I would literally just do back in the day is I would just rip one competitor from each other at a time. I will not copy, but I will get inspired by what they've done. Okay, so maybe this week or the next couple of weeks I'll just take everything Hush have done. Okay, and then next week I'll find a new competitor, and so on. And I'll also stay in touch with when these guys are adding new ads. Okay, so the cool thing with this software, the note that I showed you guys, is it shows you how long ads have been running. The further down you scroll, the longer they've been running. Most likely these are the more profitable ads. Okay, so scroll the furthest down you can and start from there. This is apparently really, really profitable for them. So you can see just a basic white image with the product. Okay, so if you haven't tested an ad like this, boom, do it now, move forward. Okay, there's also another over here. Yeah, and you can literally just go about doing variations of all of these ads. Okay, there are so many out there. So once I've done Hush, maybe I would go on to another competitor. I'm not sure if they are still alive. Calming Blankets. Actually, fun fact, this brand is made by Davey Fogarty, if any of you know him. Okay, so let's check another competitor here, A New Sleep. This is a Danish competitor. So boom, scroll down to the bottom, see how they structured their ads, both in terms of the images, but also in terms of the text. Okay, this is really, really important. And so this is literally just how I get my inspiration. Okay, I get it from Ads Library, and then I get it from Twitter. Okay, so follow good ecom people on Twitter. If you're not sure who to follow, go in on me on Twitter and see who I follow. Okay, Paul Niklas is such an ecom expert, so go in and follow people like him. They will literally give out free winning creatives all the time, okay? And even also more advanced ecom strategies, okay? Following more established people, like also following me, will put you so far ahead, because we're sharing what works right now actively for our ecom brands. And this is some of the stuff that you can use further down the line, okay? So you can just go onto people's platform and yeah, run through it. Okay, you can see somebody here who's even breaking down how they did more than $21 in sales, and I bet you there are some golden gems down here also in terms of the ads. Okay, so go ahead, follow some good ecom people on Twitter. That can also give you a lot of inspiration, but literally Ads Library is my favorite method. Okay, now once you've found the creatives to take inspiration from, what you want to do is you want to implement it yourself. Okay, so how can you actually get similar content made? So you've got a few options here. And no, I'll not be sitting here and teaching you how to Photoshop something yourself. You can easily do that in the beginning, just find some guides online. But this is how you go about doing the creative process when you are a bit further, when you have actually got a small amount of cash to implement into a business. Okay, so you've got a couple of things you can do. The first things first is you can go onto something like Upwork. Now we've got Photoshop experts in there, videographers, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people often ask me how I'm able to find such good team members. It's not that hard, guys. Literally just go onto Upwork, do a job post, qualify people, boom. You've got a long-term Photoshop editor that you can work with for the rest of your ecom journey, okay? You just need to find one good person in an industry once, and then you can use them for the rest of your life, right? So, yeah, go ahead, find people in here if you want to do it more lean, or you can use agencies. I've used both, just to be very honest. Some of the good agencies I can recommend right now that can do it in most of Europe are called ScrollStop. This is an incredible Danish brand. They also do it. They also do content across all of Europe, even though the site here is in Danish. And then Content Libitum. So these guys are also extremely cool. It's basically an agency who have become experts in making content for e-commerce. And you can see, yeah, here, Nikolai Peterson, he recommended them. Okay, so yeah, these guys are also great. So this is how you literally just get the content made. So when you found the people who can do the content, you literally just give them the reference, okay? You share a link from this here, you can just copy the ad link, send it to them, and say, listen, I want something as similar to this as possible, obviously with our brand guidelines. Boom, you've then got an ad very quickly, very easily, that will work. When you're further down the line, you can start on scripting your own ads, but initially, literally just take the same scripting or structure from the more established brands, okay? There is no real argument for you to do it all over again. There just isn't, okay? So this is how you actually make the ads. Now, what you should do based on your revenue and your videos and in terms of videos and images. Obviously, the higher you are, the more of a creative output you need. Okay. When you're just starting out, you don't need to test as much. But one of the main reasons, as to my results, and also with this brand here, in general, how I was able to do $19 million in 3 years was because of our creative output. Okay. So I am confident that within every single niche I've been in e-commerce, in the markets I've been in Denmark, Scandinavia, whatever, I've been the number one guy testing most creatives, okay? I am confident. Nobody has ever, and even with the brands I'm running right now, nobody in Scandinavia are ever coming close to testing as many creatives as I do. Why is that important? Well, it is important because with a higher creative output, higher creatives you test on a daily, weekly basis, you find out what's working way, way faster. And if you can get into that flywheel of testing a lot of ads, nobody can compete with you because you will get learnings way faster. You'll figure out what resonates with your audience that you can implement across your entire business, right? If you find a new ad that says that weighted blankets also can be great for the summer and that performs incredibly well, boom, you need to implement that on your website and even in your emails and so on, okay? Obviously, it takes a larger investment to having a higher creative output, and that's why you need to find healthy processes on Upwork or with these agencies I shared with you before, okay? Now, once you've found the ads, once you've got them from these agencies, it's time to implement it, okay? So the structure you'll need to use is very, very simple. When you're just starting out, you only need a top funnel and then later on a bottom funnel, okay? That's it. Now, in terms of the targeting, you will need a couple of things. Ideally, a couple of interests. It can be some, on this store here, we sold fireplaces. So ideally, it could be interests that align very closely with it, as you can see, fireplaces, or a broad audiences. I will be very honest with you, and this is why I also said in the beginning that there are no large tricks and hacks right now. Broad is performing the best right now for most large e-com brands, okay? So broad is literally just no targeting, okay? So that's why you don't want to play with lookalike audiences these days. You don't want to play too much with certain interests or duplicating ads too many times. Forget about it, okay? Literally just run abroad, scale it to the moon, and focus on the creatives. That's the main thing that can move the needle for you, and that's why most of this video is about the creatives, okay? So this is the structure within an ad. You've of course got all of your ads. This is for the brand that I just shared with you here. Be sure to test a lot of different ads, okay? A lot of different ads in terms of format, images, carousels, videos, etc. This is very, very basic, okay? And you can also find guides online that show you how to set up your ads manager. Hence why I won't share too much about this with you. Okay, so to the advanced funnels. This is what have made me, I think, at least around half of my profits from e-commerce, at least. This is so profitable. How did I come up with it before I get into this? Well, basically just by seeing what the more established brands do in the US and in Australia, as an example. People over there are way, way ahead in terms of e-commerce compared to Denmark, Europe, even Scandinavia. So by taking a look at what people in the US are doing already now and implementing those strategies, you can literally just come ahead and do some very advanced stuff, okay? So I'll give you a bunch of examples now. Right, so when we talk about the more advanced stuff in e-commerce, I'm actually talking about, in terms of ads, I'm talking about advanced funnels. Now, what is a funnel? A funnel is basically just the entire process from people see your first ad until they buy, okay? Typically, you show them an ad like this one, they click on it, they go onto your product page, they click add to cart, okay? That's simple, that's what most people do, and that's maybe 90% of all the funnels that we see on a day-to-day basis. But the more advanced people, they do different funnels, okay? They play with more different funnels, and so let me show you an example of that. One example could be using whitelisting. This is a brand. I'm very good friends with the founder actually, and they are crushing it, okay? So a while ago, I spoke to him about our whitelisting strategy, and you can see he's implemented it, and I know it's working very well for him. So this is a typical ad from him, okay? So just his brand name on the ad, and then just a basic ad, right? Boom. But you can see down here, they've got some ads that look different, right? This is not from a brand. This looks to be from a person. Now to translate, this is Camilla from Comfort Scandinavia, okay? So what this is called is it's called whitelisting because you're advertising from another profile. Maybe from someone who looks like an employee. It could even be from an influencer. But what this does is it gives another person who's sending the message, right? And as in the eyes of the customer, this changes everything, because suddenly when you've seen so many ads from the same brand, all of them look the same. Boom, when you then see an ad from an influencer, or from, yeah, just using whitelisting like these people do, you will resonate with the message in a totally different way. Okay, so how do you use whitelisting on a concrete basis? You actually just go into an ad here. I can just go into this one here. And where you pick the page and Instagram account, you can just pick another one, okay? You can even connect with all kinds of influencers, obviously, if you've got their permission, okay? This is performing so well. Now, this is where we get to some of the more advanced stuff, okay? What you can do is, when you click shop now, you can of course be sent directly into the product page. And this also works very fine, okay? But if you want to go to the even more advanced approaches, you start working with advertorials and listicles, okay? So this is not something you'll hear too many talk about, because not too many people are good enough to be using it. So one thing that can work extremely well in e-commerce at the moment is having these testing sites, especially in Europe. This is crushing it, okay? So this is a Danish testing site that I actually was on back in the day. Let me just translate it for you. Boom. So this is just a weighted blanket guide, right? So obviously back in the day, Scandinavian Rest was #1. And essentially a lot of these guides are actually just affiliate sites, so they get a cut of each price, okay? So what they've done is they've basically just built a blog with a large amount of authority, because, yeah, well, they are testing a bunch of weighted blanket guides. Now, imagine you're in the market for a weighted blanket and you jump onto a site like this. Which one do you pick? Obviously the best one, right? And so they say, this is the very best one right now. If you want it, it's even on an offer right now. It's in stock. Buy it here, okay? And you can see up here, yeah, it has a affiliate link up here. You can see that. But this works so well. Once again, it's a different funnel, right? So what you could do is you could actually run ads to a page like this. You could build a page like this yourself, right? I've done this in the past, building these review sites yourself, doing reviews on maybe some of the top products in your niche. One of them is your own, 4 of them are your competitors, and then you can decide where you want to rank yours, right? And then run traffic to that. So you have an ad, you want traffic to a site like this, boom, from a site like this to the product page. This can work so well, and we've scaled to such high numbers. The matter of the fact is that when you're doing a lot of volume with ads and you're just showing people the same ad again and again and again, something happened called ad fatigue, which means people get bored of seeing the ad, essentially. But with new funnels, you can push in a lot of new volume, because people don't feel like it's an ad, right? This is just a review. But in reality, this is very much an ad. It's just disguised very well, okay? So this is an incredible funnel you can use. You can literally build these yourself and run traffic to them, both from Meta, but also from Google. From Google, this works even better, right? Imagine you're just bidding on whenever people searches the top 5 best weighted blanket in 2024. Boom, your review site pops up first, people go in on it, and your blanket is first, right? Who are they going to buy from? Obviously the top product. Another thing you can do is you can play around with what's called listicles, or even blogs, and all that kind of stuff. Here's another example we did for Scandinavian Rest. I can just translate this into English for you. So this is just 4 reasons why you should have a weighted blanket, okay? So it's just another type of landing page, right? With different landing pages, people get different views on your product, and you can convert different kind of people, right? So this is why this is so important. So it's just 4 reasons why you should want a weighted blanket, and